speculation that the Patriots could trade for Jimmy G, but in the latest mock draft on USA Today, the Patriots end up landing Mac Jones with the 15th pick. Shannon, who did the Patriots end up with at quarterback here?
Skip, Kyle Shanahan said, y'all not going to undervalue me. I tell y'all, there's a chance we'll see what's going to happen. And then people, they know, like, hold on, you really want to trade him. So we can't give you the value that you're wanting because we know you want to get up off him. So Kyle says, hey, I can't promise you anything. I can't promise you we're going to be here on Sunday, let alone Jimmy G being on our roster. So I know what Kyle is trying to do because Kyle is like his dad. He going to play coy, go hold his cards close to the vest. Skip. As much as I want to say, if I'm Cal, I probably move Jimmy G back to New England, give him basically the same kind of deal that they gave me to get him. But I think all that's contingent. If they take Mac Jones, Skip, I believe they'll move Jimmy G. But if they don't, I believe Jimmy G stays, and he'll start part of the season until Trey Lance or whomever. You believe it'll be Trey Lance until he's ready to play. But we know they're tired of Jimmy G. There's a reason why, and they both said it. I talked, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch says we sat down and we felt that we need to get better at that position. If you thought you were good at that position, you would not have moved up from 12 to 3, giving up 2 first-round picks, 22 and 23, if you thought you were solid at that position. It lets me know they're not solid at their position, and they're ready to move on from Jimmy G sooner rather than later. But at the right price, Skip, they don't want to just give him away. They don't want to outright cut him because they realize he has some value, just not the value that they need to get to a Super Bowl again. So for me, I'm going to say they take Mac Jones and they move Jimmy G.
Okay. And will he move to Foxborough, back to Foxborough?
No. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
All right. I'm going to say a big yes to that, and I'm going to say no on the idea of doing it because it'll be a bad idea for Belichick. But I believe that in the end, by the way, on that line that Kyle delivered, he had rehearsed that line about none of us are guaranteed how it goes.
Right.
We'll be alive on Sunday, which is true. That's, I got it. But he was basically telling you Jimmy G will no longer be a 49er by next Sunday after the draft is over. So why are they ready to cut bait with Jimmy G? Well, 2 reasons. You just said a few minutes ago, he's a ridiculous turnover waiting to happen.
He is.
Okay? And number 2, he cannot stay healthy for very long. His history is...
That's even worse than the turnovers.
Okay, it is. Because what happened, he played 2 games in place of Brady, who was going to be gone for 4.
He got hurt.
And he hurt his shoulder, and he was gone for the next 2, and it was Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
Okay, so then he's only played 1 full season in his whole career, and it was 2019, and it was their Super Bowl season. Okay, so I give you that. And his QBR has just roller coastered through because he'll have some big games because he's got some ability, sometimes big time ability.
Right.
And in 2019, he had some big time throws at New Orleans. They won that game in the regular season when he hit Kittles on a big play. And so I give you all that. But once they got to the Super Bowl in 2019, at the end of the 2019, going into 2020, obviously, then in the 4th quarter, when they least expected it, he turned back into Jimmy, the turnover machine.
Right.
And it was 3 of 11 for 36 yards and an interception, and he missed Emmanuel Sanders down near the goal line, missed him wide right, overthrew him. And it's everything you don't want in a quarterback to the point they just said, okay, that's enough of him.
Skip, is that the thing that happened with Jimmy G is that we looked at the championship game and we saw what they did to Green Bay. But when you run the ball for 300 yards and Jimmy G only has to throw 2 passes, you're like, oh my God, look what it. But in the playoffs, the further along you go, a team is going to say, you know what? We're going to take away what you do really well. And we're going to make you beat us with your auxiliary. So 49ers, to Kansas City say, we're not going to let you run the football. We're not going to let you run the football, and we're going to put the ball in Jimmy G's hand. And Kyle Shanahan being around his dad, and his dad knows you're going to have to throw the football at some point in time in a meaningful ball game.
Yep.
To win. Sometimes it might not be a touchdown. It might be for a first down. It might be for a key throw, but you're going to have to make it. And he had an opportunity. As bad as he played the second half, Skip, all would have been forgotten if he hits Emmanuel Sanders in stride.
Yep.
And he, 3 for 11?
Probably wins the game, although Mahomes would have had the ball back with a minute and something.
Right.
A minute and a half, I think.
Skip, you can't go 3 for 11 in a game like that. Well, you're up 10 points? You're up 10.
Yep.
And the defense gave you 2 turnovers, 1 late in the third and 1 early in the fourth.
Yep. You were up 20-10 midway through the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So
any score might get a field goal might end that.
Yeah. So Kyle Shanahan has been a part of being up 28-3 in a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator in Atlanta, and 20-10 up mid-fourth quarter as the head coach of the 49ers, and he lost both of them.
Yep.
It's got to just tear his and his father's guts out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this is what I think about Bill Belichick. He decided in 2017 that he had found the next Tom Brady.
He did.
And he snatched him in the second round of the draft. And he decided then that I am going with him in 2018 until Robert Kraft interfered. You say that Tommy went upstairs to Daddy.
He did.
Or went to the mansion and knocked on the door or whatever. And that they decided, okay, you're going to be here. You're going to be just fine. And Kraft told Belichick, you must trade Jimmy G.
Right.
And I thought he just gave him away. And by all accounts, he picked up the phone and called his protege, a kid, a young coach that he loves, that he considers like a son, Kyle Shanahan.
Mike and Coach Belichick are very close.
Very close. So Bill calls, maybe John Lynch or probably called Kyle, or texted Kyle and said, hey, you want Jimmy G? You can have him for a 2.
Right.
A 2? Because I thought Jimmy G was worth a 1 at that point because he's been so built up. And in the 2 games that he played before he hurt his shoulder in place of Brady, those were big-time games, both of them.
Remember that Sunday night he went to Arizona?
Yeah. Oh, God, it was tremendous. He looked like a world beater.
Yeah.
Okay? So the point is that Bill Belichick committed in his heart to Jimmy G, and he wants to now prove to everyone he was right about Jimmy G. I thought he committed to Jared Stidham, who was his next Brady, diamond in the rough pick. Last year, started calling him Stiddy.
Yeah.
And then he gave up on him fairly quickly, and it feels like he's completely out of the picture.
Right.
So to me, what's going to happen in the draft is Belichick will wait to see who falls to him at 15, if anybody does that he wants at 15.
Right.
I don't know what his temperature is for Mac Jones or Justin Fields or Trey Lance.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But if he doesn't like what's there, and there have been multiple reports that he's more interested in trading back than trading up.
Right.
So he might just wait and see what happens or doesn't happen. And then in the second round, he's sitting at number 46, and that would be the similar kind of pick that he took back from San Francisco. So if he calls them and they say, okay, we'll do this. We'll give you Jimmy G for that too, for number 46. It would be even Steven on the trade-off, and Jimmy G would go back to Foxborough. And I believe Bill Belichick wants to show the world that he could and would have won with Jimmy G starting in 2017. And I think he will be dead wrong about that.
Skip, but also, if you remember the article, it said that Coach Belichick called a few teams and asked the Giants. He called a few teams, put some feelers out there.
For him.
For him, right.
Not for Jimmy G.
Right, for him.
Yes.
Because what? Mr. Kraft intervened.
Yep.
Mr. Kraft had told him, because remember now, Coach Belichick had a one-day contract with the Jets. He resigned abruptly to go take the job at New England. New England had to give up a first-round draft pick, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
So he said the reason why I came here is you told me I was shopping for the grocery. You told me you were not going to intervene, and you intervened. So I believe, ultimately, that's why Mr. Kraft acquiesced to Coach Belichick this time around on Tom Brady. Okay. Because I believe all things being equal, Mr. Kraft didn't want Tom to go. He can say, well, somebody give me 20 years of service. Skip, my best worker, 20 years. I don't want you to leave and go somewhere else. You've been my best worker for 20 years. Why would I want, as much as, I love you, he's like a son. He gave me 6 Super Bowls. I know. That's why I want to keep my best worker. He's been my most productive guy. Yep. So why would I want him to go be productive for someone else? But with that being said, Skip, Kyle Shanahan said that he told Jimmy G the main factor in us looking for another quarterback is that you can't stay healthy. And Kyle likes the idea of having a veteran quarterback and bringing a rookie along. That's what his dad did with Jay Cutler, because he still had Jake Plummer on the roster. And he ended up, Skip, if I'm not mistaken, they might have been 7-3 or 6-3 when they made the move. Because Mike says, you know what? I've already hit the ceiling. I can't go any higher with Jay.
Yep.
I mean, excuse me, with Jake.
Jake, yep.
I can't go any higher. So it's best for us to go ahead and insert this. Jay had his best season, Skip. I believe he had his best season his last year in Denver with Mike. But once Josh McDaniel came in, they butted heads.
They did.
And he was gone automatically.
Yep.
So I don't know what could have been. If he had stayed in Denver, we'll never know.